Welcome back to 1813. I'm Kevin Steele. Thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate you being here. Well, friends, it's time to talk about the coronavirus. And we can tell you that the president is taking action. I guess the big question, is he taking enough action? Michael Cole joining us from the left, and about 19 different companies and organizations. The hardest working man in show business right there. You're with Orange Leader. What else?
Let's see, I have my own social media website building firm called Media Solutions.
Yep, that's right. And Cole, and oh my goodness. You really have to take a vacation. Kit Batman, a man who never needs to take a vacation because life is a vacation pretty much. Right, the very serious implications of a pandemic in the United States of the coronavirus. If we start waking up and seeing 20 died overnight, but only 20 as compared to 50 in Houston last night, then it's going to start making sense to us. It all looks like it's a global deal. Is the president doing enough to stem the tide of this coronavirus? Who wants to pick it up?
I would say nobody knows yet.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has already been very, very critical of the president.
But I haven't seen her program.
Her program.
And Schumer said the same thing. It was not enough. But I said, but Schumer, where's your program? What have you talked about the airlines and the countries that we should stop taking planes from? And how are you handling it, Chuck?
Yeah.
No answers.
Yeah, Chuck Schumer very much attacked the president on the spending for this as well.
I'd probably say that right now that it's, we do have like a lot of cases coming out, but we have very well-trained doctors who are with the CDC and with the U.S. military. That's all they do is study potential pandemics and epidemics and outbreaks from either the manufactured stuff or just the stuff that just happens. And the way I want to see is that whatever actions the president does take, that it's done with the sound advice of the CDC. On one hand, I want to make sure that as few people succumb to this illness as possible.
Yeah.
But in the other senses, I don't want to create a panic that will most assuredly harm more than any kind of potential good.
People think that's what drove down the market, some 1,900 points in 2 days. This Chuck Schumer argument that, oh, by the way, this guy is falling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's, again, from a political standpoint, the market going down, potential, people believing that the recession is going to come and affect them is going to have impact on the election, unless, and here's the problem, we're in the primary season. The market going down now means it has room to go up later. Mm-hmm. It all looks good for Trump as you get closer to the election. It's a bad strategy on the Democrat part to use the coronavirus as a political tool.
What did you see at the debates? Did you get a chance to catch them? And if so, were there big home runs hit at this debate?
At each other?
Yeah, where there was a home run?
I honestly, I caught bits and pieces of it because I kept going back and forth. I thought that part 2 of the Warren-Bloomberg feud, once again, Senator Warren seemed to really take Bloomberg to task. But for the most part, I didn't see anything unexpected. I didn't see anything that you haven't already heard out of all these candidates.
Is Bernie Sanders a radical?
That depends on your perspective.
How do you sympathize with folks like Fidel Castro in the Sandinista government and not hold fairly strong, if not socialist, communist views?
Sympathies.
I honestly can't figure out what Sanders was thinking. I mean, historically and from a non-political standpoint, you can sit there and look at almost any regime in world history and say, well, they at least did that. But in the same sense is you can't say, I wish we were more like that. That would be almost like, as just much as political suicide, if a Republican candidate said, well, Hitler had a few good ideas. It would be suicide. And for Sanders to even say that he thinks that Castro is someone to be emulated, and to say Castro is someone to be emulated before Super Tuesday when Florida votes,
I know, it's
is
crazy.
To me,
That's right. So Florida's on Super Tuesday. We'll talk more in just a moment. Attention business owners, listen, navigating the health insurance world can be very challenging. Let it be simple with my friends here at Insure Life.
Let us make health insurance shopping for your employees simple. Give us a call at 409-313-6313.
I bet you've never seen a sandwich do yoga before. Introducing the new Papadias for just $6. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
What a crazy good deal. How about that Crazy Cajun?
Welcome to the all-new Crazy Cajun restaurant in Beaumont with new staff, new entertainment, and a brand new menu. Yes, we still have the great Cajun seafood you've come to expect, but so much more with new appetizers, entrees, drinks, and desserts. Listen to live music on our covered patio, play in our expanded backyard, or bring your group indoors to one of our private party rooms. The all-new Crazy Cajun, 2310 North 11th in Beaumont. A new
The next
twist.
time you need any kind of legal assistance, think Sutton and Jacobs Law Firm, 833-1100. Personal injury, business litigation, general litigation. Sutton and Jacobs, 833-1100. 833-1100. Proud sponsors of Fair Warning, Sutton and Jacobs. A new store in Mid-County, Tina's Heavenly Touch, Premier Massage, and Day Spa Final on Phelan Boulevard. What a wonderful little shop. I love it in there. Massage is great, I can tell you that personally. Tina's, remember them, look them up. Okay, guys, when we look at the vantage point of history, at the place where the American ideology changed, it will be right now that, in fact, socialism became acceptable in America, and that democratic socialism, whatever you want to call it there, because democratic socialism is a term that we somehow coined somewhere, that this was, in fact, the pivot point. Am I right?
No, you're not right. Here's what happens. Every time
I'm right if Sanders wins.
No,
Even if Sanders
the
wins.
nomination, then he gets one state and the Republicans get 49, just like when Mondale ran, just like when McGovern ran. The problem with running a very liberal candidate is it hurts your chances, not your chances of winning the presidency, your chances of retaining House seats. And worse than that to the Democrats is losing state House seats in the year of redistricting. So it's a bad idea.
Is it make or
People
break for the Democratic Party, in fact, that this is, it could be an extraordinarily good decision, but it is a risky decision? What do you think?
Well, I mean, when we talk about like history and historical, whether democratic socialism isn't a new term, it's been around in Europe since the post-World War II area. And if we want to talk about historical gains or losses, FDR, who was arguably one of the most popular presidents in U.S. history, served 4 terms, and he was, for all senses, a democratic socialist.
Was FDR a socialist?
His successor thought he was a communist. Truman considered him a communist. So.
But
Truman
the thing is that when we use terms like, and this is one of the things I hate about using any kind of terms that's ism, is it's so easy for, and you see it on my side of the aisle whenever Trump or a Republican puts forward a package that does make sense. Suddenly you hear screams of it's fascism. When something that is done that, for instance, Medicare for All, which is just another name for universal health care, it becomes socialism on the other side. Now, the thing is that we need to look beyond the isms and see, is this a good program? Is this a bad program? Is this a program best left to the individual, to the state? My honest thing is that we've gone too long with it's more along the lines of like what works.
No,
You may be
agree.
entirely too reasonable for this program anymore, sir.
I agree with you, but we're not at that time.
No.
The Democrats and Republicans aren't working together. They're trying to see who decides this time. Bill Clinton came along because Mondale was so liberal. Bill Clinton ran as a centrist, and look at the good he did for the Democrat Party. You can argue that he did well for the country, and probably so, but he did really well for the Democrat Party.
I love your perspective, guys. Well put. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on 1813 Fair Warning.